Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Housewives' Vicki Gunvalson talks Tamra Judge feud and reveals she doesn't want to be filming with her ever again. Once upon a time, the Real Housewives of Orange County's Vicki Gunvalson was very close with co-star Tamra Judge. They shared the screen for years on the Bravo hit, making it easy to maintain a friendship. However, it seems that they will not be able to recover from their current setback in the near future. Vicki and Tamra have clashed in recent months because the OG of the OC believes Tamra has been too hard on Shannon Beater after the 60-year-old's DUI arrest. Vicki and Tamra's feud seemingly reached the point of no return earlier this month when the Kodo Insurance founder discussed Tamra's relationship with her daughter and how it could be repaired if she chose family over reality TV. In response, Tamra shared a video threatening legal action and begging her former Tres Amiga to leave her alone. Tamra caught a lot of heat for her reaction because she's been accused of using Shannon and Jennifer Pedranti for storylines on RHOC this season. Now, Vicki is setting the record straight about whether she would ever cross paths with Tamra again in front of the reality TV cameras. In a recent episode of her podcast, My Friend, My Soulmate, My Podcast, Vicki was asked which lady from across the Real Housewives universe she wouldn't want to film for Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip with. After initially pausing, she was asked whether she would be nervous to work with a particular cast member. Probably Tamra right now because we're at odds, and I don't want to be filming with her ever again, Vicki affirmed. I stepped back because I didn't like the way she was treating people, Vicki explained, adding that her biggest issue was how she would be perceived if she associated herself with Tamra. That's not who I am, and that's not who I want my clients or my family to think I'm friends with. Fans have been up in arms about getting Vicki back her orange this season, but thus far, Bravo seems only interested in her popping up for cameos when storylines require it. While Vicki would be an excellent ally for Shannon, it seems that producers don't consider her necessary as a full-time cast member nowadays. After spending over a decade as an orange holder, she seems unlikely to get the chance again unless something big changes in her life that warrants a comeback. Her appearances have been so minimal this season that she probably won't even get a call to appear at the reunion. Vicki Gunvalson sat at a small cafe table, her signature iced tea with lemon sitting untouched in front of her. The Real Housewives of Orange County alum had an unmistakable air of confidence about her, yet today there was a tension in her demeanor. Her eyes sparkled, but there was a guardedness in them, a kind of practiced self-preservation that only comes from years of reality TV drama. This wasn't the first time she'd been asked about Tamra Judge, but as she prepared to speak about their most recent fallout, it felt different. Final, almost. I've been through a lot with Tamra, Vicki began, her voice measured but firm. We've had our ups and downs over the years, but after what happened this time, I just don't see us ever getting back to a good place. I don't want to film with her again, ever. It was a bold statement, but Vicki was known for not holding back. Tamra and Vicki had a long history. Friends, enemies, allies, depending on the season, their relationship shifted more times than the plot lines of the very show that made them famous. But this latest rift, Vicki made it clear it cut deeper. We had some great times. I won't deny that, she continued, her tone softening just slightly as she reflected on their past. There were times when Tamra and I were like sisters. She was my ride or die, and I felt like I was hers. But things change, people change, and Tamra, she's different now. Vicki's voice trailed off as she searched for the right words, unwilling to dive too deep into the specifics of the fallout just yet. There were moments, she admitted, when she wished she could go back to how things used to be. We laughed so much. Remember the trip to Mexico? That was one of the best times. We didn't care about the cameras or the drama. We were just two friends enjoying life. But it was more than nostalgia now. It was about betrayal and hurt that couldn't easily be undone. Vicki's brow furrowed as she thought back to the specific moment that fractured their relationship beyond repair. It wasn't one thing, it was years of small cracks that finally splintered into an unfixable mess. "Tamra's a different person when those cameras are on," Vicki said, finally taking a sip of her iced tea. "And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I know I said things, done things that weren't right. But what she did this time, what she said about me behind my back, the way she played the victim, I'm done." The viewers might have sensed tension between Vicki and Tamra for a while now, but what truly shocked the fanbase was just how publicly this latest feud had escalated. There were no more carefully worded digs or behind-the-scenes gossip. This was open warfare, waged through social media, interviews, and carefully orchestrated confrontations on screen. Vicki had always been the self-proclaimed OG of the OC, and in a way, that title gave her a certain immunity. She had built this world alongside women like Tamra, but now, even that history wasn't enough to keep them united. "I don't need Tamra's drama," Vicki continued, her voice rising slightly. "She's toxic, and I don't want that in my life anymore. I'm 61 years old. I don't need this chaos." The word toxic lingered in the air like an uninvited guest. Vicki didn't back down from it, though. In fact, she seemed relieved to finally put it out there. Toxic. It summed up how she felt about the endless cycle of arguing, making up, and backstabbing that had defined her relationship with Tamra for so long. "I know what people think," she said with a knowing smile. "They say Vicki loves the drama, she lives for it. And maybe, at one point, that was true, but not anymore. I'm in a different place now." Vicki paused and looked out the window, watching the people pass by. She had built an empire off her name, her personality, her ability to bring the heat to reality TV. But that world, as glamorous and intoxicating as it could be, had a price. And the price, for Vicki, was friendships like hers with Tamra. "I'm not saying Tamra's a bad person," she added after a moment. "But she's someone who thrives off chaos. She needs it to feel relevant, to feel alive, and I'm just not there anymore." The irony wasn't lost on Vicki. After all, she too had built a career on the same chaos she was now condemning. But for her, it had crossed a line. There were things that even decades of reality TV experience couldn't prepare you for, like losing someone you thought would always be in your corner. "The last straw," she continued, her voice dropping to a near whisper, "was when she started bringing my personal life into it. She crossed a line when she made certain things public that had nothing to do with the show. My relationship, my family, those are off limits. But Tamra doesn't see boundaries. She'll say or do anything to get attention." Vicki shook her head, visibly frustrated at the memory of Tamra's betrayal. "She's always playing the victim, twisting things to make herself look like the innocent one. But people can see through that now. I don't think anyone's buying it anymore." For Vicki, walking away from Tamra wasn't just about ending a friendship, it was about self-preservation. She wasn't willing to compromise her peace of mind for the sake of a storyline, not anymore. "I've moved on," she said firmly. "I have a wonderful fiancé, my business, my life outside of all this. I don't need to be dragged back into that mess." As the conversation wound down, Vicki took a deep breath, finally relaxing a little. "I'll always be the OG," she said with a slight smirk, that familiar fire in her eyes. "But I'm not going to be part of this endless drama. Tamra can have it." And with that, Vicki Gunvalson made her stance crystal clear. The chapter with Tamra Judge, it seemed, had come to a close. For the OG of the OC, some things just weren't worth the camera time. And this, it seemed, was one feud she was more than happy to walk away from for good. See.